أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه وبعد. Yesterday we talked about some animals that are not permissible in Islam when we were discussing the line of poem which says وَذُو النَّابِ وَالْخِنْزِيرِ وَالْكَلْبُ أَكْلُهَا حَرَامٌ بِقَوْلِ الْحَقِّ مِنْ خَيْرِ قُدْوَةِ. We said any animal that has fangs, al-khinzir, the swine, al-kalb, the dog, that eating them is haram with respect to the statement of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which is the truth. Now, we made mention of the beast of prey, that is the predators, animals that feed on another animal, so which are called as-siba. So, and they have fangs. They are considered haram. And the statement of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam regarding this is what Al-Imam Muslim reported, that Abu Hurairah radiyallahu anhu, he said, أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال كل ذي ناب من السباع حرام. Every animal that has fangs from amongst the siba that feed on another animal, it is haram. Now, here we will look into some of the animals that live in water and they also have fangs. To begin with, there is an animal called al-dhifda. Al-dhifda. I think it's frog. So, it lives in water, right? And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as reported by Abu Hurairah, if I'm not mistaken, yes, he said a man came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and he told the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, "Inna narkabul bahara." We used to, travel on the sea. وَنَحْمِلْ مَعَنَا الْقَلِيلِ مِنَ الْمَاءِ. And we used to carry with us a small amount of water. فَإِن تَوَضَّأْنَا بِهِ عَطَشْنَا. If we perform ablution with this water that we are carrying, we will become thirsty. أَفَنَتَوَضَّأْ مِن مَاءِ الْبَحْرِ. Can we perform ablution with the sea water? Then the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam told them, هُوَ الطَّهُورُ مَاؤُهُ الْحِلُّ مَيْتَتُهُ. The water of the sea is clean, and whatever dies in the sea is halal. Here, that tells us that any animal that we find in the sea, whether alive or dead, is halal. In fact, Ibn Abbas radiyallahu anhu, he said, the one that is alive, it is called the soy, and the one that is dead is called the ta'am. Here, al-dhifda is also part of the animals that is found in water, but it is haram. Why is it haram? Because there is a specific evidence from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that says it is haram. And what is that evidence? It was reported by Abdurrahman ibn Uthman radiyallahu anhu. He said, أن طبيبا سأل النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, that a doctor asked the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم and ضفدع, about the frog. يجعلها في دواء. He wanted to use the frog in a particular medication. فنهاه النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, and the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم prohibited that. He forbade that. He asked him not to do that. And قتلها, not to kill the dhifda. The reason, wallahu alam, it could be that dhifda has a lot of, things in heat that could cause ailments, diseases, wallahu alam. But if we cannot comprehend this, The main thing is an nastaslim. We should agree and accept with the teachings of Allah and the guidance of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now, what we want to bring out here is that the fact that difda is part of the animals that live in water, but because there is a specific evidence for difda not to be permissible, then difda, frog, will become haram because there is a specific evidence for that. Now, let's go to all other aquatic animals. In fact, there are some animals that are semi-aquatic. Some live on land and they live in the water as well. Now, let's begin with as-sulahfat. There is an animal called the turtle, or sometimes they call it tortoise. I think it lives on land and at the same time, it lives in the water. It's a kind of semi-aquatic animal. Wallahu alam, mubah. It is permissible. And because, they said because it is an aquatic animal, because it lives in the water. That is what the scholars said. And it enters the generality of the statement of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, الطهور ماؤه والحل ميتته. The water of the sea is pure, and whatever dies in heat or whatever lives in the water is also halal. So that is why as-sulahfat, the turtle, is considered permissible. But there is a question that was asked by Abu Jawad, hafidhahullah wa ra'ah. Now, what about crocodile? Crocodile is an aquatic animal. It has fangs. And we said there is a particular hadith that says, كُلُّ ذِي نَابٍ أَكْلُهُ haram. Any animal that has fangs, eating it is haram, right? There is a hadith that says, any animal that is found in the water is halal. How do we juxtapose all of this? Now, اختلف العلماء. Scholars, they differ on at-timsah. At-timsah is crocodile. Some of them, Allahu A'lam, majority of them, they said it is not permissible to eat crocodile. And what is their evidence? Because it is Dhu Nab. It has fangs. And they base their evidence on the fact that Kullu Dhu Nab, any animal that has fangs. And some of them, they said it also stays on land. Okay? That is a semi-aquatic. But some, especially the Malikiyya, they said it is permissible to eat. Why did they say it? Because they see crocodile as an aquatic animal. And they base their evidence on the fact that any animal in the river, okay, is halal. And some of them even quote that, okay, if we want to say, because it has fangs, we want to say it is not halal. What about some of the fishes in the river some of the fishes have fangs as well. Some of the fishes in the river, they also have fangs. And we generalize that all fishes are halal. So that's, to some of them, they said it is not a point. To say because crocodile has fangs and it is aquatic, then we say it is halal. It is haram. Wallahu alam is a thing of debate among scholars. But majority of them said it is not permissible to eat because of the fangs. While Malikiyya, they go with the opinion. And some of the scholars, aside from, even there are some riwayah from Al-Imam Ahmad, even riwayah from Shafi'iyya, that it is aquatic, then it is halal. Wallahu alam. Also, this now brings us to some of the animals that are semi-aquatic. We have dog that lives in the water. Kalbul Bahar, the sea dog. I don't know if we know that. We have Hayyatul Bahar, the sea snake. A snake that lives on the land that has fangs is haram. Now, the one that lives in the water, how do we juxtapose? Wallahu alam, some ikhtilafat are also here, differences of opinion, but some of them still argue the general hadith that any animal that is found in the water is halal. The fact that Hayyatul Ma or Hayyatul Bahr, the sea snake, is in the water, the sea dog is in the water, then it is halal based on the general principle. Wallahu alam. To some scholars. Why some scholars still say, okay, dog has fangs, which is the same principle that is still, that it is not permissible. But it's a clean of debate among the scholars. Now, these animals that are living on the land, and some of them are living in the sea. That's we call them al hayawanat al barmaiya. Al hayawanat al barmaiya. They can be found on the land and sometimes in the sea. So some of the scholars now said there is a qaida that if we now see that there is an animal that has the characteristics of living on land and in the sea, then it is better, if we want to kill such kind of animal, especially the one that has blood flowing in them, that we should slaughter it. We give it the quality of an animal that is on land, like the sea dog now, for example. There is a blood flowing. So if we want to kill such kind of animal, some scholars said this qaida is applicable to dog, that we slaughter it before we eat it. So wallahu a'lam. So these are some of the things around the animals that live on water, in water, and the one that lives on land. But there is this particular animal that is called saroton. Saroton is like is it lobster? Is it crab? Well, okay, so crab. So the scholars, they said it's just like a jarad that lives on the land. You know, jarad does not have blood flowing in it, so there is no need of slaughtering that. So it is just like the fishes in the river. So it is permissible to eat. So these are some of the rulings regarding the animals that live on land and the one that live in the river. So inshallah we'll stop here and we'll continue from here tomorrow. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك اشهد ان لا اله الا انت استغفرك واتوب اليك. السلام عليكم ورحمه الله وبركاته.